G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new patch to witness two Conqueror 3 players go absolutely ham at each other. On the map Dry Arabia, one of the best maps, and of course we've got a beautiful spawn. Have a look at this. Both players with back forests, which means you know that this is going to be a very aggressive game. Let's introduce our players spawning in the west of the map. In the color purple, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, we've got Dragovan. And on the east side of the map, in the color orange, playing as the Ottomans, it is the one, it is the only, it is the Overlord god himself, Corvinus 1. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this Age of Empires 4 content, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out with the traction of the video. Now let's get into it. I tell you what, I want to tell you about a meme that I saw. It was a meme on Reddit, which is where all good memes come from, I guess, for me at least. It's one of those things that's relevant, right? Like maybe all your good memes come from, what is it, Tumblr? Get off my video. Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. I guess that's another place you can get your memes. Anyway, the meme, it said, the happiest Ottoman mains have ever been. And it was a picture of an Ottoman player who was reading the patch notes, specifically the Culverin and Springled changes. He was reading the patch notes and you could see the beginnings of a very slight smile. Because you know those Ottoman mains, they are always whinging, always complaining. Anyway, I thought that was a nice little meme. Because I'm looking forward to seeing how these changes affect, in particular, the Ottomans. I think it's going to be a really interesting thing because one of the big, or I guess the elephants in the room here, is that with Siege being nerfed, however, it's only really the Springles and the Culverins that got nerfed, because remember, they reduced the amount of damage that they do, but they increased their attack speed, which makes them better over the long course of a fight, but that initial burst, not as strong as it once used to be. And I'm curious to see how it's actually going to stack up against the Great Bombard, because the Great Bombard is a special case unit, because that unit has 11 range compared to, say, the Bombard, which has got 10. They've got that extra one little bit of range, and you might not think that makes a difference, but I can tell you what, it absolutely does. So I'm curious to see exactly how that goes. We've got the age up starting to come through. It's going to be Eco Wing for Dragovan on the other side. I'm expecting to see Corvinus look towards, do we potentially see a new landmark being placed down? Of course, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the gold landmark. It's been so long that I've seen it put down. Actually, we can click a villager here and actually inspect. It's the Sultanate Trade Network. Do we see the Sultanate Trade Network coming out today? It could be. Let's have a look and see. No, it's probably going to be the Twin Minaret Madrasa. Oh, he did it! He did it! Oh, you love to see it. The brand new landmark coming in. Now, what I love about this is that it really makes Anatolian Hills pretty much a no-brainer, right? Like, I think when you're playing as the Ottomans, realistically, there's probably 3 to 4 that you want to go, right? Like, if we can't look at the Vizier points right now, but when you think about the Vizier points, what do you want, right? Like, you want military campus, for sure. Everybody wants military campus. You probably want siege works in the late game, so I think it's called siege crews, sorry. And then you want the extra train time as well. So that's 4. Or, no, sorry, that's 3. You could also throw in Advanced Academy as well. That's kind of like a negotiable Advanced Academy, or you could do like trade bags, which is really nice. But then, of course, you're going to need that tier 1. So I think that the tier 1, it's like, do you go between Anatolian Hills or for the Imams? Have a look at this. Dragovan, nice little... Oh, Dragovan, I'm loving it already. Have a look at this, the counter to the Ottomans. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. This is quite beautiful. The town center is going to be able to cover fire. You can see that, fortunately for Corvinus, he will be able to hit the gold vein, which will give him a little bit of an out here. But fortunately, I think Dragovan will have the resources to get his wheelbarrow, and indeed he will. He's going to be a very happy camper right there. Second TC coming through. I can't believe what we are witnessing. That is absolute... I am going to steal that. I am 100% going to steal that. Look how cute this is. You want to try and get behind here? Good luck to you. You're going to cop a whole bunch of flack if you dare do it. Is he going to go for it? I think he's going to go for it. Oh, he's just going to siege it down instead. Definitely the right call, the safe call. Let's check in on the other side of the map as the age up comes through for Corvinus, the brand new Sultanate Trade Network. Now, what did they do to make this landmark better? Well, I'll tell you right now. Number 1, they changed the cap. There used to be a cap of 6 traders that you could have inside. They changed it to 10. Number 2, you now get 3 traders instead of 2. Very, very nice. And number 3, they've reduced the income that each trader actually gives you from 28 per minute to 24 per minute. So from the very get-go, by just choosing this landmark, it is a buff. It is better than what it used to be, as a matter of fact. There's no real worse off from this landmark. And in fact, you could argue that those changes were in line with the changes to trade more broadly that we saw about 6 months ago, where they fixed up the trade trick. You guys remember the trade trick? You'd put a market over here and put 27 markets over here. You'd send all of your traders here first and then down to here, and they'd do a full trip. It was absolutely broken. So naturally, they had to nerf it. But I guess that's just kind of like, you know, all of the trade values kind of dropped down after that. But speaking of dropping down, I think we might have ourselves a little bit of a spearman dropping down here if he's not careful. Corvinus, fortunately, Dragovan's not really paying attention. He is. It's a little bit too late. Gets the shot off. The spearman will live. We'll ride on board with Corvinus and have a look at this. We have got production out the wazoo coming through. Now, my question is Corvinus going to be going for a fast Imperial here? Because we have seen it. He pioneered the Ottoman fast Imperial, and this was the opening. 2 military schools into the blacksmith. Now, I want to see, does he go Anatolian Hills or does he go Imams? Because I think Imams are definitely the right call if you want to go for Castle Age, but you already have this gold trickling in, so relics don't become such a big factor. I think Anatolian Hills makes a lot more sense. It's going to guarantee that you've got the resources to get you up to Castle Age, to even potentially get you up to Imperial Age. There's so much food in there, and it looks like he's just going to chill it out for the moment, so we'll check back in with him soon. And see how he's doing. Looks like it will be a 2 TC play from our Abbasid player, but not going to be any more than that. We'll just still keep an eye out. Yeah, you can see it's definitely going to be a Castle Age, 100%. Have a look at how many villages he's got here on the gold. Definitely not going to be thinking twice about it. Expect to see the survival techniques coming through shortly as well on this mill. He's only just come out onto the deer pack, so he's got plenty of food, not to mention the fact he's got a second deer pack directly to the north, so really nice and safe. In fact, we've got really good double deer. This is a great spawn. Can I just say right now that this Dry Arabia spawn is an incredible Dry Arabia spawn. I wish we could watch this or have this spawn every single time, because it's just one of those ones where, you know, you've got the woodlines to the back, so it's really quite hard to wall in, and naturally that's going to promote a little bit more aggression in these games. Though I guess when you do have an Abbasid player who wants to play 2 TC and an Ottoman player who wants to go fast castle, at least at this stage, well, you're going to have yourself a pretty nice start, nice and passive, nice and easy for Drongo. Have I got any anecdotes for you guys to tell you in the meantime while we just kind of chill out and wait? Not really, nothing really on the story front to tell you guys. Yeah, nothing I can think of at the moment, but look at that. We got ourselves a little Sipahi action coming out. He might actually get this villager as well. Bit of a late reaction there from Dragovan. This is a really nice call from Detective Corvinus to actually go after this, just simply because, well, it's gold, and the more you can delay your opponent from hitting that Castle Age, the better it's going to be. Now we see those Camel Archers heading towards that top side, chasing the Sipahi away on 5 health. We check underneath the town center. There's a distinct lack of... Where is he gone? I feel like he is going to go into Anatolian Hills, because if you're going for Imams, then you could get them out onto the map already. But this could be quite a bit of damage that comes out. Now, it's important to note, those were free Sipahis that he's throwing away there, so he's not too fussed about it, about getting rid of these guys early on. But it's going to be triple camel, and have a look at Dragovan. He's going to be heading out directly to this position. He doesn't know exactly where Corvinus is at the moment, but he should be able to read the mini-map, or not read the map, but you see that there's no deer here, but there's deer on the mini-map, and all of a sudden that's a bit of a tell, and indeed he will begin approaching the hunt. So naturally, the MIA does go down for Corvinus. No real surprise there. A little bit of micro. Look at the micro coming in. These guys barely even turn around. He's got the scout in the control group, which is a #1 mistake. You can see right here, I'm not going to issue a citation because I'm the macro police, not the micro police. You probably have to call Beastie if you wanted micro police, because he's obviously got the micro skills. I would definitely say I don't have the macro skills, but I'm a stickler for it anyway. But look at this. It is going to be the Imams that come out for Corvinus. Just looking to get out early on the map and get some healing in, and it's pretty damn decent if I do say so. Have a look at that. Manages to get the outpost up as well. That single little bit of healing definitely helping him out in this situation. Of course, by doing this, he's not going to be able to go for Anatolian Hills, but expect him to actually switch into it. I really wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw him get Anatolian Hills as his second vizier point, just to supplement that little bit of food, because obviously he's got the food out here. He will be able to move up to the north as well for further food. He's got the berries in the back. Maybe he doesn't need to go Anatolian Hills. I'm selling this pretty well to myself right now. Maybe you don't need to go Anatolian Hills. Age Up comes through on the other side. It's the MIA. It's within the blacksmith. It's next to the town center. It's absolutely perfect placement here from Corvinus. Really well done by him. Second Vizier point will be rolling in soon. Now, one of the things I want to talk to you about, bring to your attention, one of the most common things that we see in the early game are that Ottoman players go for the Twin Minaret Madrasa. They leave about 4 villages on it, and it's just basically, you know, an extra 2 vills that they get. And that's pretty much it. But have a look at this. Despite Corvinus's opponent, Dragovan, going for 2 town centers, and he's been on 2 TC now for about 4 to 5 minutes, the villager difference between these 2 players is less than 5. And that is because of the power of the Sultanate trade network. Have a look at that gold income that is coming through right now. Now, of course, he's forking out quite a bit of resources for this. You're not just paying 50 food for these guys. You're paying 60 wood, 60 gold, more than double what you would pay for a villager, but there is the element that it's free. It also acts as a market. So you can see right there was a little bit of a wood purchase for him. And not to mention the fact he's got no villagers on gold, which almost guarantees that he's going to be in a really good position come Imperial Age, because you better believe that's exactly where he is going. He is looking for that Imperial Age, and we start to see those relics coming through. He's got the first one picked up, second one on the way as well. These are really nice and guarantee that if your opponent goes into some sort of timing, like a Ghulam timing, that they're not going to be able to really hit you that hard, because all of a sudden you've got a Wallalol in the back pocket that you can always rely on. So that's something to keep in mind. We see 3 military schools up for the moment. That 4th one yet to be placed down, so we'll have to wait and see what that next Vizier point will be. On the other side of the map, though, military wing is about to be completed. Keep in mind, this is not the Ayyubids we are watching. It is the Abbasids we are watching. So we'll unlock composite bows, and we'll give a couple of camel riders to help out here. Now, keep in mind, if Corvinus does indeed decide to go all the way and full send to Imperial, we've got the Abbasid dynasty, who should be in the best case scenario to defend against any great bombards, okay? Because they actually have access to the Culverin, which many do consider to be the supreme siege unit. And it's not because it is a cool unit that doesn't need to unpack before it fires. It's because its population efficiency is very good. It costs the same population as a Springald. So naturally, it's going to be better, right? You know, think about it, okay? We've got a knight against a spearman. Even in that situation, the knight costs the same population as the spearman, but the knight is always going to win. That's the exact same thing with the Culverin and the Springald. So it's really nice in the late game to be able to rely on that Culverin and fall back on it, because you know that you're going to be able to defend those. And have a look at this. There's the Imperial Age coming through before the 13-minute mark. Istanbul Observatory down in the back of the base. Very nicely positioned here away from that blacksmith, so he's going to be getting really effective area of effect on this one. We can't actually see the influence that it's got, but I can assure you it's quite a big influence. In fact, probably coming out all the way over to here, but I do like the fact that it's nice and safe in the back of the base. Now, one of the big things that I'm going to be looking for here is going to be gold. Gold collection is really important as you're hitting this Imperial Age, because you've got a lot of upgrades you want to look for. Number 1, you want to be looking for Tithe Barns. Number 2, you want to be looking for a barracks into an elite men-at-arms upgrade, because we can actually see he's not even going men-at-arms. He does have these technically switched into the men-at-arms, but we don't see any men-at-arms yet on the field. Do I take that back? No, I don't take that back. No, I do take that back. He's got a single men-at-arms out now towards his top side. Mangonel also going to be here. The age up has come through. Next Vizier point is in. Does he go for Anatolian Hills? Probably not. Probably going to be moving into military campus. We'll look for a 4th military school. We'll look for a 5th military school, because that is going to help him a huge amount if he needs to call for Janissaries in a short while. And have a look at this. Unfortunately, it looks like a Mangonel will get caught out of position here. There are units nearby, and this is what I was talking about earlier with the fact that you can have those relics out. They will defend against the melee units. Villagers do get pulled, but it's not going to be enough. And now, unfortunately, the camels will manage to hit those villagers. One will go down. Second one, not going to be targeted. Instead, those camels will turn around and look to hit this Sipahi. Wallalol potential is online. Keep in mind, Corvinus with 3 relics in the bag at the moment is feeling very happy with himself. Yet to see those upgrades come through. Plenty of gold in the bank for when it happens. And now that Mangonel is going to be looking to hit the Ghulams that have made it through. And have a look at this. 9 workers killed. Both Corvinus and I managed to miss these workers dying on the gold vein, unfortunately for him. Looks like 4 of them did manage to come through. But now that Wallalol towards the top side. Not going to find anything today. but it will mean that he'll at least distract his opponent. More and more units coming in. Have a look at this. We have got 5 Ghulams on the way. He's really going absolutely ham, and another rack's going to be thrown down here. He is looking to really go crazy with these Ghulams. Ranged armor is through. He's looking to try and strike the Mangonel. The men-at-arms numbers are starting to build now, and we can see that he has switched over the MIA to that Great Bombard. This is the strong unit that you really got to worry about, and the unit that could really define the meta of this patch. You know, one of the things I was quite fearful of when those patch notes struck was that the Great Bombard could be unchecked in this patch, and I'm still fearful that that might be the case. So we'll have to wait and see how it unfolds for Corvinus. He's up against an opponent that is playing the Abbasid dynasty. We've talked about it already, the fact that he will have all the tools at his disposal to defend against these Great Bombards. Whether he's going to be able to do it or not is a different story. But now, the men-at-arms together with that little bit of melee armor on the front. Wait, where's that melee armor? He switched it over to melee armor, but then switched it to ranged, I think? I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but he has lost his melee armor. You kind of want that because you're up against a double attacking unit that does melee damage. So if you can get that melee armor, it's definitely going to help you out. Meta is back here. We now see it. He's got it on attack speed drums instead. I definitely feel like the melee armor would make a huge difference in these fights. But now Ghulam's coming through. Look at a siege down a mining camp. Why not? Pretty reasonable target. Crossbows on the back as well. You get to see those elite upgrades, but there they come through. It's going to be Bloomery for him, together with elite army tactics and elite men-at-arms. He's going through for the double whammy at the same time. I love that the man's only got 3 men-at-arms on the field right now, and still is like, yeah, we'll go for the double upgrades. We might as well. You know, why not? Just in, yeah, future-proofing. We're future-proofing. Men-at-arms now double upgraded within the blink of an eye. I don't even think, yeah, he doesn't even have +1 melee armor yet, and he's got elite army tactics, which is very nice to have here for him. His opponent's got double the army value for now, so he's got to do his best to try and get back up to it. But this, you know, we often talk about the Ottoman Exodia, and I reference that it's normally in the Castle Age that happens. Rarely do we talk about Imperial Exodia, but you know, if there was ever a case for Exodia, it is definitely this one. 4 military schools with the MIA. 5th military school should be coming down shortly. And there he is. 17 minutes into the game, the first of the Great Bombards is out. Ghulams looking to try and crush through these crossbowmen. Yet to pick up the elite upgrades for them just yet. Sacred sites behind the scene being captured. There it is, the Great Bombard firing off towards the Ghulams. Keep in mind, they do have that extra health coming through from boot camp. Not to mention that these units just in general have a lot of health. 216 on your elite men-at-arms compared to the 224 on your standard Ghulams. That's how big these Ghulams go when it comes to the hit points. So there are all the tools that we need, and have a look at this. Already going into early siege crews. We don't even see, have a look at this. There's 1 military school, 2, 3, 4 military schools, not even a 5th military school. So we know that he hasn't gone into that military campus Vizier Point just yet. Instead, he goes into siege crews. That is ludicrous that he prioritizes siege power that much. And I guess he just realizes that, you know what? If I push right now with the Great Bombard, there's nothing that my opponent can do. If he tries to make Springalds, I will outrange his Springalds. Keep in mind that up against Castle Age Springalds, the Bombard outranges them 11 to 10. This is going to get really scary. Big shot comes. Oh my god, what was the damage from that? 190 Great Bombard damage. I felt like maybe I didn't know how much health that other unit had, or the other Ghulam, but damn, dude, that was kind of wild. Looks like we've got ourselves a little bit of trade set up, and speaking of trade, have a look at that. We got triple traders on the way, triple market. Great Bombard at 18 minutes pushing down the 2TC Abbasid player's base. This is absolutely crazy that he's got the ability to do this so early on. Normally you'd expect this to be about the 20-minute mark, maybe 21 minutes. But this is quite an early push coming out here. I really feel like maybe you could look to try and flank instead of fighting in directly into these men-at-arms, coming around the back and looking to hit the Great Bombards, because the Bombards will now begin to tee off from the safety of the back line. He hits 2 Ghulams, takes them out. Mangonel also going to start helping out Horsemen. The camel gets 1 shot. Dude, this is absolutely ludicrous. How is that justified? 102 more Ghulams go down. This is perfectly balanced, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, we always got to experience this. The question is going to be about how how you deal with this and whether we see those Springalds coming out, whether we get to see the appropriate counter. No Janissaries on the field means no repairs for these Bombards, and it looks like the first one of the game will go down to the Horsemen, so very well read there by Dragovan. He's managed the first one, but I've got bad news for him. 3, 2, 1. The second one is on the way. You ready for round 2, boy? Exactly what is about to happen. Round 2 is on the way. Men-at-arm numbers still looking pretty good here for Corvinus, and we're seeing a pretty decent combination coming out from Dragovan. I think the one difference is I would just avoid going into the Gulams. They're quite nice for the front line, but I think Horsemen are probably going to be all that you need for it. But I guess realistically, there's quite a lot of health on the Gulams as well, so that's absolutely fine. Upgrades are starting to come through for Dragovan as well. He's picking up every single +2 upgrade that he's got access to, but is it just me, or does... We don't have horticulture, we don't have fertilization? Please tell me at the very least. Okay, at the very least, we've got... what is it? What's the farming? What's the unique farming upgrade for the Abbasid called? Oh, this is gonna test me. Ooh, this is a tough one. We're gonna go with cool farm dudes. We're gonna go with the Mister, all right? Because the Mister is a cool farm dude. He likes to farm. He's a cool dude. The Mister. All right, well, big focus on that Bombard. Plenty of vills here to repair. They'll be able to get through it, and you can see this is where you want those Culverin or those Springalds on the back line so that you're actually able to finish it off. And there's that Wallalol that we were talking about, forcing these units back away from the Bombard as the Bombard cleans out that back line completely. He says, go on, go, try it again. I dare you to try it again. And realizing very quickly Dragovan cannot fight any longer in the Castle Age, he says we need to go to the backup plan. It's got to be Imperial. He's up 40 villagers at the moment, so he's feeling good about himself. But remember, there are factors that are mitigating that. Number 1, relics. Keep in mind that at the moment there's a 3 relic advantage going over to Corvinus. His opponent did manage to pick up 1 relic. Number 2, it's those military schools. We can see that he's got 4 military schools on the field at the moment, and the MIA that are going to be pumping units non-stop outside or out of this base. But now moving forward, look at this. Another villager pool going to be coming through. He gets the surround. The villager's trying, but the Bombard will go down. That's the second one. Dragovan buys a little bit more time. These Bombards, it's only a matter... Oh, where? Excuse me, traitors. I didn't realize you got the ability to heal all of a sudden. Get back to work. Sorry. I've got a special thing for traders and Imperial officials that like to do things other than what they're meant to be doing. Anyway, Janissary numbers starting to build here. Have a look at this. He's up to 23 damage on these Janissaries, yet to pick up chemistry. Keep that in mind. He does have the ability to get chemistry. We now see siege works coming in. That's where we start to get a little bit dangerous, because it means that the health and the ranged armor of those great Bombards starts to get a little bit thicker. Siege Workshop coming in as well. I suspect he might even be looking for more upgrades. What else can we throw? Siege, we could look for... We've got Siege Work, so maybe we can look for Greased Axles, get a little bit more movement speed for our great Bombards. That could definitely be a play. We could look to get Springalds of our own, but to be honest, the Ottoman games that I've played, I'll be real with you guys. You don't need Springalds. Springalds they just ruin it, man. Just make more Bombards. Honestly. Just bombard it up. I think that's the play. I reckon he's making the Siege Workshop to make more Bombards. I don't think there's anything else that's coming out of here. It's going to be... Oh, okay. It's Randy. I'll accept that. Randy, it's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the new game. We got ourselves Mr. Randy Orton joining... Randy the Reboldiquin, sorry. Joining the party here. Realistically, for the Bombard, there's really nothing else in here. It's only the Greased Axles that we could expect to potentially see. Now, when it comes to the Reboldiquin excel in high-intensity environments. They love getting up close and personal. They don't have a lot of range, 3.75 tiles of range, but when they do make a connection, I tell you what, it's not going to be like Craigslist. It is going to be a 100%. There's going to be a marriage between those two. That is for sure. But let's check in with how Dragovan is doing. We're right on board with him as he's starting to get these walls up over on the side of the map. Now, keep in mind, these are only palisade walls, so at best, they're going to hold your opponent for a couple of seconds. But have a look at this. He's got all three sacred sites now in his favor. What is this all about? A little bit of stone walls coming down? Excuse me, Corvinus. Somebody say the onion needs to come online, because I guess it does. Corvinus a little bit scared of getting backdoored here. Now, have a look at these military populations. Definitely in favor of Dragovan at the moment. And we do see the Culverin is online. That is going to be a big factor in this game, whether the Culverin is going to be able to shut down Corvinus and his siege ball. Now, keep in mind that Corvinus has got a number of things going for him at this stage. He's already researched siege works. I don't think we've seen chemistry just yet, but we'll quickly check. Oh, that's it. Yep, that's a one-shot right there. That's a turn. Great Bombard yet to pick up that chemistry upgrade, so keep that in mind. We are missing 20% damage on these units. On the other side, though, Dragovan, we don't see either the siege works or the upgrade to the damage. So neither player with chemistry just yet. But a really sizable villager lead here for Dragovan. 40 villagers. Not to mention he's got that fabled Abbasid economy. The best late game economy there is, if I remember correctly, is it the Abbasid? No, I think it's the Byzantine and then the Abbasid. Abbasid are a little bit better just because they've got that improved processing, which really, speaking of improved processing, there you go. Glad that Dragovan is listening to me as I'm casting the game. Dragovan, are you in the next room? Is Dragovan in the room with us right now, Drongo? I am not Dragovan, I will say that much. I'm not sure who he is. I know he's a Conqueror 3 player, though. I checked out his profile. He's sitting at about 1650 at the moment. So suspiciously ranked around Drongo, but I can assure you, it's not me. I don't know what Dragovan means. If anything, it's a bit... Is this where it's like, Drongo, you're being very specific. You're very defensive, Drongo. And Dragovan, Drongovan, it kind of sounds the same. It's not. I could never play the Abbasid dynasty, dude. I'm too lame. I'll be playing Juicy or Ottomans, one of the two. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bombards are getting prepared. Oi, did you guys see that? I swear to God. Did you see that? The Bombards fired, but they were like, nah, not really. Look at this. Greased Axle's on the way. He's got a lot of Bombards here. These guys are turning around. That poor little horseman. Look at the Bombard number. I feel like at this stage, Dragovan has to head back to the drawing board. He's at 198 population. At this stage, stop queuing up things. Maybe even delete a couple of villages. Before you take this fight, like, I'm sorry, but you need at least 3 Culverin. Let's do some quick math here. 420 health on these Great Bombards with 45 armor. Now, keep in mind, on the other side, the Culverin does do range damage. It doesn't do siege damage. Now, compare that to the Great Bombard. It does siege damage. So it means that its attacks aren't affected by ranged armor. Okay, so you're talking about 420 health with 45 armor. So now we've got 85 plus 60 versus siege, so you're talking about a total of 145 there. But then it's only 100 damage, so you actually need 5 Culverin to one-shot a Bombard because they do 100 damage each, and you've got 420 health. That is... Oh God, Relic, what have you done? Look at this poor Dragovan Abbasid Dynasty player with his single Culverin up against the Giga Chat in the north of the map with the 4 Bombards. Like, you want to go? You want to... Come on, let's go. And I think that's the part that's so unforgiving about Great Bombards. It's like, the Bombard, it just serves as this amazing unit. It's like a Mangonel Bombard, Culverin, all in one unit. It can just do absolutely everything. And I think that's what's incredible about it. Because even, like, let's say you kill all the Bombards. Now you've just got 4 Culverin that just look at your opponent and laugh. Like, look at the measly damage that it did to the meta-arms. No AoE. No cool... big tank looking things at all. You know, it doesn't feel good. 3 Culverin out. He's got a 4th one. He gets a shot off on the back line. Do you guys see that? I saw that. We're heading into the cinematic mode. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. The Bombards eliminate the Culverin in the blink of an eye. The poor Culverin. Run for your life, Culverin. Run quickly. Oh, my Lord. Run quickly. Look at him go. He's like, go. He got one shot. Oh, rise the Ottomans. Rise to the S tier. It is your time to shine. The Bombards. Oh, my Lord. He coming. You need 5 shots to kill the Great Bombard, dude, and you need 1 shot to kill the Culverin. You tell me what's balanced and I'll tell you what's not, because we've got this bad boy right here who is at the top of the table right now. Oh my Lord, you love to see it, don't you? Oh gosh, look at the... 1 landmark. Oh no, it's not a landmark, it's the backup TC. Look, Culverin fires. look. He's like, excuse me. The Janissaries are in the way. Janissaries are in the way. He's trying to chase the Culverin. The Bombard's looking to try and find it. Not. They lose the line of sight. Now the Bombard's going to open up on the back line anyway. Still moving forward. Culverin's looking for it. Get a couple of shots off, but you can see they can't one-shot the Bombard. It's going to mean that the Janissaries get time to repair it up. Culverin turn around. They managed to get the first Bombard out of 4, but another Culverin goes down. That's 3 already down. Look at the Bombard. He's like, come to me, daddy. Come to me, puppy. He's asking for it. Still manages to get it in the end. So that's 2 Bombards that we've taken out now, I think. But, I mean, at this stage of the game, where do you go from here? Look at the amount of units that are in his base. Now he's starting to work the landmarks down. The Culverin can't even get close. All that time we were focused on the Culverin, we failed to see what was really happening, and that was the Janissaries. The game gets called. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your new Ottoman Overlords. They are here to stay for an entire patch cycle, I suspect, unless these guys get hotfixed, because I tell you what, I'm starting to worry. That was absolute insanity. Go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description. Corvinus 1, he's your Wallalol god, and today, he's your Ottoman god.